Hello, kia ora, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our Tuesday update, recorded July the 18th, as we track a cold front moving into New Zealand, which is going to form into a weird but large low pressure zone. And I say weird because it's going to get very large and messy, and the forecast for New Zealand actually not that bad. So let's try and make sense of what I've just said. On the animated wind map today, we've put in there the total precipitable water. In other words, how much water is in the atmosphere to form as rain. And what you're seeing is in the bright blue, that's where the heavy rain makers are and the big downpours and showers. So like Samoa's getting it, but Fiji's on the outer edges of it, and you come down to New Zealand and we're around the high pressure zones. Now there are a couple of fronts. There's the first cold front in there, a little bit of blue shading, another cold front over in Western Australia, but they're only producing showers or a brief period of rain. The stuff that brought the flooding to New Zealand earlier this year was this bright blue shading, and that was coming down over the North Island a number of times. So at the moment, we're definitely in a drier spell of weather. So what does that mean with that cold front on the way? Well, it means another dusting of snow, and for the ski fields of both main islands, even up into the North Island, not a huge amount, maybe only 5 or 6 centimetres for Mount Turuapehu, but still that's something. And the further south you go, we've got some heavier falls here, up to 1/2 metre for some of the mountains there, and the ski fields lower down, getting around about 20 centimetres. So that's some good snowfall coming through this week. This is for the next 2 days as that southerly change comes in. Before it arrives though, temperatures are above average. Look at Australia and New Zealand, a lot of that red shading for today, and that's 4 to 8 degrees above what has historically been recorded at this time of the year. And of course, this area in the middle here, not very populated, but still some do live in that area, more than 8 degrees above normal for this time of the year. So here we are on Wednesday. That hot weather in Australia caused by this northerly coming through, that comes down past Adelaide, down to the Southern Ocean, but it's disconnected from the cold front moving into New Zealand. There is a burst of warm nor'westers before it arrives, so the warm weather, or warm for this time of the year, carries on tonight, and then that front comes in tomorrow lunchtime and slowly moves up the country with windy westerlies blowing through. By Thursday, that front turns into a low pressure zone. It gets a little bit messy now. We've got this high pressure zone from Sydney down to Stewart Island and further south down to the Auckland Islands. Up to the top of New Zealand, a windy northerly is starting to arrive and some rain or showers. But you see what I mean? This low is a little complicated. Not your traditional cold front that just moves straight up the country, although here is a traditional cold front moving into Adelaide and later on into Tasmania and Victoria. By Friday, that Australian cold front is decimated. It just falls apart as it moves out into the Tasman. The low to the north gets larger, and there's a windy easterly blowing through there. So patchy rain and showers in those areas on Friday itself. But we go through to Saturday, and this low is getting a very strange, stretched out shape to it. Still a windy easterly blowing through for New Zealand, and another cold front coming in for Adelaide. And our final map for Sunday shows that low further to the east, another centre down here. So it's a big stretched out system, not providing a lot of rain to New Zealand. In fact, most of the North Island remains drier than average for the next week ahead. Still a few showers, still the windy sou'easter, and the South Island not as unsettled, with more high pressure around. So you can see we do have a weather pattern change from where we've been for the rest of this year. For the first part of this year, we're still seeing a lot of high pressure out of Australia drifting in towards us, not necessarily covering us, but enough to shut down these big rainmakers that we've been getting for the first several months of this year. That's all from me for today. Back again tomorrow with our next update. We'll see you then.